a big conversation in the AI space is actually in the future there's going to be need for more plumbers and electricians and people that are working blue collar work. AI hasn't really happened at the scale that is going to be noticeable for the average person.
In what way has AI destroyed how we work?
People are using it as a tool not to think. The people that notice that the world is changing will have advantages over the people that don't know that the world is changing. So if somebody sends me a contract now, I can just put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, tell me how this person is trying to screw me over.
Okay.
Give me all the points. Like, okay, cool.
AI is no longer just a buzzword. It is quietly rewriting how we work, how we create, how we compete, and it is especially taking over all industries. I'm talking from film sets that we are in right now, a law firm, hospitals. There is a big shift that is happening. But instead of asking, hey, what is AI? Namhlanje we are asking, what does it do and who builds it? And also, how do we stay ahead of the curve? Hello, hi, Sawubona, igama Prince Mashinini. I'm on a mission to figure out how AI is changing our everyday life and how it can work for you and me. Welcome to Everyday AI. Namhlanje, I am joined by an AI expert, an entrepreneur, a builder, someone who lives at the intersection of technology and real-world impact. John Kitenge.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, good.
Welcome to Everyday AI, brother. Thank you so much for coming through.
Thanks.
All right. So when I heard AI expert the first time we were discussing the episode, I was like, I'm not going to lie. This is new for me. I've never heard of anyone who's an AI expert, all right? So obviously, I started thinking, what exactly does an AI expert do? What do their normal days look like? And also, how does one become an AI expert, all right? But before we get into all of that, all right, I'm interested to find out, who John Kitenge is and how he became or how he got himself within the AI space.
Okay, cool. So my story started in high school.
Yeah.
I started my career in tech in high school, building out products for companies. I think one of the main products I worked on whilst I was in high school was an electronic patient report form, which is basically the form that the hospitals and ambulance use when they, let's say, admit a patient.
Yeah.
And that form gets used by insurers to know how much the cost of the service was. So generally it's done on paper, and we were digitizing it. And this was in high school. It didn't actually fully materialize, but we made a little bit of money, myself and a friend of mine that I was working on this product with. So already early on, I was already making money, so I wasn't super motivated to go to university.
Yeah.
But I was really good at rugby, so I got a bunch of different scholarships. I went to UJ for less than a week, and I decided that it wouldn't make sense for me to actually stay because I'd have to juggle rugby, academics, and business, and all I wanted to do was business. So I dropped out and focused on business. But the first year was quite tough because I spent it couch surfing. We couldn't replicate the luck that we had in
first time around.
Yeah, exactly. So, and after a year of kind of couch surfing, around 2021, that's when I started Param Solutions, which is the current company that I'm running.
Okay.
And yeah, we build software and AI solutions for different companies. AI in general has changed over the past few years.
Yeah.
Before AI was just kind of basic algorithms. Now it's like these more complex systems, which are very much different and rely a lot on kind of human speech or human language.
It's so interesting when you find with somebody in high school knew exactly where they were going, and you like what grade was this when you created the patient form?
Matric.
Matric.
Yeah, I was supposed to be studying, but I wasn't.
Oh, the parents are like, the lights are on, thinking you're busy with your science. You're like, no, I'm making sure doctors and paramedics actually have the form they need when they're admitting patients into hospitals. That's quite exciting. And it's making me think around, like, how did you know? Like, when, maybe let's say in your teen years, did you know, Guti, hey, actually, artificial intelligence or AI as a whole is the next big thing, or something that you are particularly interested in and wanted to like be in that space?
I would say it was probably 2 years ago, not in my teens. In my teens, I was working on just software, like just building apps.
Okay.
That was a lot more easier. Yeah, relatively.
I think, sorry to cut you off, I think that's where I'm coming to. Uguti, how did you know, even like the building of apps, the software, when you were younger, Uguti, hey, I'm great at this. This is what I need to focus on.
Before I got into tech, I thought I was going to go into investments. And I think I got exposed to like the whole Silicon Valley culture via YouTube, of course, where I saw all of these like super young guys dropping out of school to build like these massive companies. I mean, notably Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, there's a whole list of people that started businesses at an early age, or tech companies at an early age. And what's unique and interesting about tech is that you don't actually need a lot of capital outlay to actually start a tech business. You just need to know how to code, and if you can code and sell, then you're in business. And that's kind of was the starting point, was the fact that the barrier to entry was pretty much non-existent, versus, let's say, investments, where I would have to go to university for a certain amount of time, work under an investment firm for a certain period of time, and then start. I mean, tech is unique in that sense. If you try to do it with any other business, it's borderline, not say impossible. Like, I mean, now I'm sure you can do that with marketing and like being a social media influencer, but those were less popular back then. So yeah,
those were. All right. So now, fast forward to now, you're running your own company. Things are going well. You are an AI expert. Help me understand what exactly is someone who would say they call themselves an AI expert. How do you become that? What is that?
If I'm being honest, I don't think they are AI experts.
Yeah.
Reason being, the field is still new. So AI, let's say 5 years ago, is different from what people see as AI today.
Yeah.
And because the goalpost keeps shifting, there isn't any fixed definitions of these terms. So in my experience, and when I look at kind of the current job landscape, there's two types of roles that exist in AI right now. One being AI researchers, which are people that research deeply on the technology and figure out ways to use the underlying technology to solve certain problems. And then there's people that build on top of AI or build with AI. So it's either people that use like the coding AIs to build applications, or they build on top of foundational models. And they basically integrate those foundation models into their apps. And I don't think the industry has really agreed that those people are experts. So, I mean, the closest thing we would get to experts are the researchers. But then again, it's like, if you are researching something, you can't be an expert in it because you're still figuring it out. Generally, there are no AI experts. It's people that can build with AI, and then there's people that are trying to figure out what the true capabilities of this technology is. But because of how fast it's moving and how important it's become in such a short period of time, there is this impression that we've got it figured out, and that couldn't be further from true.
Yeah, and then so between the two, the research guy who's researching, or the people that are building on what already exists, where do you find yourself?
Both.
In both.
Yes.
Okay.
Because a lot of what I do, or what my company does, is we use some of the underlying technologies that exist in the market, and then we also are finding new ways of using. We also are able to break down the technology and rebuild it from scratch to solve very specific and unique problems.
Yeah.
So, and all of them are a lot of them are novel. We don't have references to how a certain problem could be solved using this technology. So, I'd say we're sitting also on the research side. There's interesting things we've figured out and solved using the technology.
I'm curious. Like, what's the one problem that you solved with your company using AI that you are really proud of? Maybe that you can think of. One or two. Or if you want to go to five, I mean, I'm here. You can give me all of them.
It's a problem that's already kind of been solved, but us building it and solving it ourselves was really interesting and exciting for us, which is voice technology. So I'm talking to you right now, you're talking back to me. How do you get an AI to have a conversation with you through speech?
Yes.
So you don't actually have to type to it. You can actually talk to it, and it's a seamless conversation that you can have with the AI.
Okay,
it's very scary.
That sounds scary. A little bit, it sounds scary.
Oh, it
because
is.
people then will forfeit human interactions. Because, I mean, I've got Miranda at home that I can have a full conversation with, and Miranda agrees with me. But that's really, really impressive to have done that in your company. So this is what you do on a daily basis. Like, you walk into the office. What does that look like for you right now?
There's the entrepreneurial side, which is me working with clients and trying to understand what their requirements are.
Yeah.
And so a company would come to me, say, or come to us, say, hey, we've got this problem. We've got too many people in our call centers.
Yeah.
But even with the amount of people we have in our call centers, we aren't able to answer all the calls, which results in bad customer experience.
Yeah.
How can we use AI to solve that problem? And so I spend a lot of time sitting with the customer, understanding what does their current flows look like, what information do their employees have, and how do the employees actually communicate to their customer. Then I'll design systems, new AI systems to solve those problems. So again, voice being part of the solution. We're saying, how can we get this AI to talk to your customer like your best consultant? And then how do you get it to also use the same tools? So if your consultants are using certain applications and tools, how do you get the AI to also use those tools to solve the same problem? So that's, one use case of it.
All right. That sounds fun. I'm not gonna lie, because I can see the creative part of it. I can see the technical part of it, which makes me wonder then, if I'm somebody who's interested in this space, in artificial intelligence, because that's a conversation that we're hearing everywhere, do I need to be technically sound? Do I need to be a coder? Or are there any jobs that are available around AI that don't need me to be technically sound, like you?
I think the direction that AI is going, I think very few jobs will need deep technical expertise.
Okay.
Because a lot of the expertise will be moved into the AIs.
True.
So because AIs, if you can build them pretty well and you architect them really well, won't make the same mistakes that humans will make. So it would be much easier to have AIs do these like very technical tasks, which begs the question: what do the humans do in that case? And I think one should look at it as a phased approach in terms of where or how the AI rollout is going to happen. So the first phase, which is the phase that we are currently in, is we need to build the systems that do the jobs, or the AIs that are going to do the jobs that humans are doing right now. So that's where the biggest opportunity lies right now. And to some extent, so in the now, the opportunities is just understanding AI and becoming a solution architect, and saying, I can understand business requirements, and I can transform the business requirements into a solution, at least even if it's just a concept at a conceptual level.
Yeah.
Because I understand how these AIs actually work. So if I want to solve some sort of administrative problem or issue, I need to first understand how AIs work. Then I also need to understand how the administrative issue came to being.
Yeah.
And I need to be able to connect the dots. So that's one role that doesn't require you to be necessarily technical, but it does require you to actually understand the tools and how these systems work. And I suspect looking into the future, that's probably going to be the most enduring job and skill. And then the other one is being able to actually build. So being for lack of better words, you can call them an AI engineer, in the sense that you can use these models to actually build a solution. So one person comes up with a plan, the other person goes and executes the plan. So there's still opportunities for that. And I think the interesting part, and and I think it's a good part for young people specifically, is there are not a lot of AI engineers in the country, even in the world in general. So there's a big opportunity for young people to learn those skills, specifically around how to build using AI and get a job in the market. Because I think when you think, let's say, traditional software development, the hardest part for young people is going into a market that's already established. So there's already people that have been working for 5 years, 10 years, and there isn't enough kind of jobs for everyone. So if you're a young person trying to get into the tech space, like traditionally, or let's say it's just software development, it's really hard because companies are looking for people with experience, and you don't have experience. But now you've got like this new field that's getting developed, which is or new career path that's getting developed, which is, let's say, the AI engineer. And there aren't a lot of people that have that skills. So your competition is effectively no one. So
and there's galore opportunity.
So exactly. So the company cannot expect you to have 5 years of experience. So
it's a developing industry.
It's a developing industry.
Skill.
It's kind of like getting into software development 10 years ago, 20 years ago. That's where we're at from a jobs point of view in AI.
All right. I think what I'm taking away from what you're saying, which is really encouraging, I think for me, is that you don't necessarily need to be technical about it. There is a job for everyone else. And what I really like is that you were saying was because right now things are at inception. A lot of work obviously seems to go to people who are building the artificial intelligence. But once everything is automated, the machines are going to be doing everything. So then we need the human to step in and be able to work with the artificial intelligence that's been developed. I don't know if I'm getting it correct.
100%. I mean, it's kind of like right now, most white collar professions are done on apps.
But it's an interesting conversation that we're going to get into. Because yes, they are done on apps, but is it done correctly?
So that's where the AI is going to come in.
That's where the AI comes in.
It's going to do it correctly, and then people just need to know how to use the AI. But
I mean, I think that is such a great way to shift into the other part of the conversation that I want us to get into, like AI in the workplace. Now that we understand what John's work entails, I mean, John's company is the gent that they call in when they want to automate some of the human systems that are in place, right? And a great example that John made in the conversation was that, hey, if a call center company calls him and says, hey, we have a big number of staff, but a lot of calls still go unattended, and we would like to get like automation systems to help with the work. He comes in with one of the apps that he's developed around the voice, and also just creating an entire, I would say, persona that speaks and automates that industry, which for me is the reason why we're having this conversation. That, hey, AI is infiltrating every industry that there is. If you're in a call center agent, it's in your industry. If you're a lawyer, it's in your industry. If you're a doctor, it's in your industry. Would you agree? Like, everyone is essentially will be affected, including us on a film set. There's so much development around artificial intelligence, which for me broadens the conversation, and it gets to the belly of the conversation, to where I want to go, where we zoom out a little bit and we actually look across industries. Ukuthi kwenzakalani, right? Now, from your knowledge and what you are seeing right now, which industry would you say is experiencing the fastest change due to AI right now?
Yeah, I'd say it's ironically the software development space.
Okay.
Like these AI coding models
Yeah.
have gotten so good at coding that people don't really code anymore, to be honest.
That's funny though.
Yeah, it's very, very funny and ironic. How people they call it vibe coding now.
Okay.
Where people just write prompts. So you write prompts in natural language. So you say, I want to build this app, and the AI will build the app for you.
Whoa.
But where you still need to be somewhat technical is you still need to be able to debug the issue. So they're not perfect yet, but it's changing the nature of software jobs. And I think if we can extrapolate this trend into the future, traditional software developers as we know it is dead.
Cease to exist.
Yeah.
That's right. I mean, it's ironic, like you're saying, because you worked your whole life to build something. You build it, and this thing figured out, you know what, I don't need you to build me anymore. I'll build myself.
That's exactly what's happening.
Which is kind of crazy. But also, what I'm interested in knowing, what's the one thing that you are seeing happening in terms of like the shift that's happening across industries that people are not aware of, that you think people should be aware of?
Okay, so what's really happening behind the scenes, right, is you've got these large language models. For example, ChatGPT.
Yeah.
ChatGPT is a large language model. That's why you can type to ChatGPT and it will understand you, and you can also talk to it. I don't know if you've tested the voice feature on ChatGPT.
I haven't yet.
You can literally have conversations with ChatGPT. So that's the underlying technology that's actually ushering this wave of AI. Because right now what we are seeing is if the AI can understand your human words, then it can basically do it can actually do tasks based on what you told it to do. Ooh. Whereas before, in order to get a machine to do tasks, we needed to create a user interface. So that's what you when you go on an app and you press the screen, you're interacting with the user interface. So now that you can just tell the AI what you want to do, you don't actually need the user interface. So these LLMs are like the foundations of what's going to make AI possible and penetrate into more industries. And so the LLM technology is developed. It's really good.
Yeah.
What's happening right now is people are looking to build the applications of this LLM technologies.
All right.
That's why people can't actually appreciate how fast it's actually moving. So now that you've got this AI where you can talk to it and say, hey, go and do this for me.
Yeah.
People are now starting to figure out, or builders in the space are starting to figure out, okay, what things can we get it to do? So, for example, accounting, you can get it to do accounting for you.
So I don't need an accountant anymore.
Yes, because you can just tell the AI what to do, and it will go and basically. Well, we're not at the stage yet where you won't need an accountant, but it's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen. To be honest,
it's gonna happen. Because I mean, if you can say, hey, I want to get all my a list of all my expenses. You tell the AI, it'll just produce all the expenses you've had.
Yeah.
If you tell it, draft me a legal document, it'll draft it. If you say, go review this contract for me and sign it, it'll do it. Okay, so AIs are not supposed to sign anything, but technically it would be able to do it.
Right
so on
now.
one end, you've got the instruction set is shifting from a user interface to a conversational instruction set, and then in the back end, there's automations that are powering it. So that's actually the part. Maybe I took a long way to answer that. But
Yeah.
it's actually automation that's actually powering it. So automation meaning you can get the AI to use applications that humans are using. So if you use Sage, you use QuickBooks, you use Google Calendar, you use all of these products, AIs are going to now learn how to use those products.
And do it for you.
Exactly. So now you'll just tell the AI, I want you to do this, and it will go on the application and do it for you. And that's the part that people don't know is being built. And that's the actual scary part. Is like ChatGPT, being able to chat to an AI, that's like pretty basic now.
Yeah.
Everyone has gotten used to the idea. Now it's just people saying, hey, how do I get it? If I can tell this AI what to do and it understands it, how do I get it to go and do things
for me?
Because
now I have a personal assistant in my phone.
Yeah.
Essentially.
100%. I have an AI personal assistant.
Right?
Yeah.
But as someone who's in the space, when you notice these changes and they shift, they're so massive, right? And that many of us are not fully aware of. Are you happy about these changes and these shift and these improvements?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I'm young and there's opportunities for people like myself.
Yeah.
and anyone that's curious enough to learn. Because the changes create opportunities.
Yeah.
Right. Because there's going to be some people that are not going to notice that the world's actually changing.
That's true.
And the people that notice that the world is changing are going to be will have advantages over the people that don't know that the world is changing.
I hear you.
So, yeah, I won't lie. I mean, it's exciting. I love it, but I do also acknowledge and understand the risks, because it is a bit of a black box.
It is. All right. So now, if we're looking at industries, right? If we can really learn a little bit and then make it more practical for you and I, all right? And we're looking at workplaces, how would you say comparatively, if we compare to how workplaces functioned 5 years ago to how they function now with the introduction of AI, what's the biggest thing or changes you've seen in that dynamic?
They haven't really changed yet.
Yeah.
I mean, like AI hasn't really happened at the scale that is going to be noticeable for the average person.
Yeah.
Right now, it's just introduced as like very basic tools. People get Copilot and they say, "Oh yeah, it's not that good."
Yeah.
So I can't say the change has actually happened yet. But if I had to project into the future, what the working world is going to actually look like is people just telling AI what to do. The AI does it, and people monitor what the AI is doing.
Oof. But then, if that's like going into the future and we notice, we predict that's going to happen, what's the use? Is there any use even in getting educated? Because if I'm going to sit on my desk and then tell AI, hey, write me a script. Hey, balance my books. Hey, do my taxes for me and send them to SARS. Does AI, when you predict and you're looking ahead of what's going to happen, change our world in that sense? So we completely release the things that we do as human beings to get by, and AI takes over our entire lives?
So there is still going to be need for some education. It's not going to be as intense.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, people need other people to hold accountable. So if an AI makes a decision, some people will want to know that there's a human that's actually reviewing the decision that the AI is making.
Yeah.
So that if something goes wrong, we can say, okay, we'll blame that person, because you can't just blame the AI. So as far as jobs and skills, I think for the foreseeable future, there will be a need for skills. But yeah, the skills of the future will look a lot different to the skills of right now. Yeah.
Okay. And then, I mean, if we look at what's happening right now, I think one of the things that you're saying was, yeah, the changes AI has introduced in the workplace, but not in a way that it's so noticeable. Because, hey, people have fully automated their marketing office or whatever. But obviously, there are like systems that AI has introduced into the workplace already that people are using that I think either good or bad is happening. What would you say then, like right now, what has or which tools has AI introduced into the workplace that you believe has impacted how we work in a positive light? Like it has made work great.
I mean, it's hard to answer the question, because I mean it's a broad question.
It is.
And I mean, there's different tools for different industries. So, I mean, elements of like LLMs are being used for processing like documents.
Yeah.
And reading. Like, I mean, here's a funny thing. So if somebody sends me a contract now,
Yeah.
I don't need to actually send it to my lawyer to actually review. I can just put it into ChatGPT and say, hey, tell me how this person is trying to screw me over. And it'll give me all the points. I'm like, okay, cool. So that's one way. If I need to draft a document, I don't have to now spend days, if not weeks, trying to plan. Like the AI actually becomes a research assistant.
Okay.
Where it's helping me think through things. And go through different scenarios, but it's also helping me draft the documents much faster.
Okay.
I think with having this AI personal assistant, I can ask it to send documents to people. I can ask it to book meetings on my calendar for me. I'm talking about use cases for me, but I'm sure a lot of people would probably resonate with some of these use cases.
Yeah.
I think there's some AIs that are helping with video editing, so and then graphic design.
Yeah.
On the software development front, we're not spending as much time building basic functionality, because like the AI can do that itself. But I'd say AI, again, software development is where AI has hit the hardest, and it's adding the most value. But interesting enough, we're seeing an increase in demand for software developers as a result of AI. So that's counterintuitive, because you'd assume that because it's affecting it's
doing the job.
It's doing a lot of the job of a software developer. I'd say probably 80% of the job of a software developer. People are going to say, hey, we don't actually need software developers, but that's not what we're seeing. People are saying we need more software developers because we can get more done.
Okay.
Because there's always stuff to be done in the software space. Like you need to update an application, fix bugs, build a new application. Now it's like it's reduced the cost of building apps, and I think that's
the positive.
The positive. Also, you could argue it's also the negative, because if everyone can basically build an app and solve problems using AI, and it's very easy to do that, then that just accelerates the whole process of us
of how we work.
Automating certain jobs.
Yeah, I think what I like from what you are saying, Ogosi, there are systems like you're saying, like at basic, like graphic design becomes easier because at the bottom, or the things that need to be taken care of, AI has taken care of. So they are positive like that. Like the stuff you were saying resonates even with me. It was, hey, now I can automate my emails. I can say, hey, send an email at 8 to John tomorrow about this, or draft an email for me. Hey, my lawyer has sent this. Can you go through this contract for me? But also on the flip side, like you were saying, there are disadvantages. Like, what have you noticed has been one of the biggest disadvantages that have been introduced into the workplace because of AI? In what way has AI destroyed, in lack of a better word, destroyed how we work?
I think to some extent, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm an optimist or a pessimist, but I'm not sure that it's destroyed anything. I think for most part, the way we've been using it has been a net positive. But I mean, I think in terms of the common issues that people have with AI, which for me I just attribute it to lack of effort, but it's where people completely outsource their thinking to AI, and they don't actually review the AI's work. That's where it creates a lot of issues, where you'll see people writing these proposals that you can just see it's AI, like the wording is AI, like the information in the proposal or the document is AI, and people are using it as a tool not to think. So they're trying to use it as a shortcut to not think, whereas the same tool can be used to help improve your thinking. So if you use the same technology to help analyze your thought patterns and say, hey, am I actually thinking about this thing properly? How else could I see it? Give me a bunch of different scenarios that I haven't considered. You see, now the AI is actually helping you think. It's the same technology, but people are using it differently. So that's maybe the potential negatives right now
that comes with it. And I think it's such an important thing that John is saying, and the fact that AI is not introduced for you to completely outsource your thinking. It's not supposed to do that. It's a tool. And the best way we can use it is we take it, we learn with it, and also we use it to better our understanding and also just the projects that we're doing. Say, like you were saying, with, hey, how do I make this better? This is my thinking. But don't now completely just, hey, write me an email, and then you send that email. You haven't read it. You haven't checked anything. You just, because you can tell, like you're saying, you can really, really tell. But with everything that we know so far, or with everything that you've shared so far, how would you say, if someone is watching right now, is watching this conversation, and they're like, hey, I want to stay ahead of the curve. I don't want to miss the opportunities that you keep speaking about, especially as a young person. How would you say someone like that should aid themselves in the age of AI? Like, what should they be doing? Should they be going to university to study software engineering? Should they be self-taught? I don't know, what especially as somebody who's on the ground, you run a company, you interact with a lot of people who are incoming in the space. Like, if someone wants to come in, what skills or what should they be doing to make sure they have the necessary skills to be part of the fourth industrial revolution and win?
I mean, the question around when, it's a hard one to answer, because it's moving very quick, but we can't set any kind of deadlines or times for when any of these solutions will come to fruition. But in terms of skill sets, I would say learning prompt engineering. So basically, that's just saying, how do AIs work? How do these LLMs work? And how do I better communicate and explain myself to them? And then I'd say right now we're at the stage where, again, people should take this part seriously, is the technology is here, the underlying technology is here. Its capabilities, I mean, if you're paying attention, are obvious. It can help automate and disrupt a lot of industries. You want to be part of the disruptors, so you want to be the person that's finding problems to solve with this AI. Because the alternative to that is someone else does it, and you live in their world where they've solved the solution with AI, and it's not very obvious what the jobs of the future is going to be. I can't say we know what the jobs of the future are. There's a chance that AI ends up creating more jobs, and there's also a chance that AI creates fewer jobs. But I mean, on average, I think everything will be significantly cheaper.
So from what you're saying, right, what I'm getting is that if you're a young person who is curious to be in the space and you want to have skills to be within the AI space, you need to stay curious and you need to find problems to solve. And that way you are in the thick of things and you're staying ahead of the curve.
100%, yes.
Right. Do you see a world where AI becomes like our daily utility, like electricity and water?
Yeah, that's where we're going. That's 100% where we're going.
Does that scare you or excite you?
Both. Both. Because, I mean, if people are going to be talking to these AIs the entire time for basically everything, then it creates a opportunity for this AI to influence you. So, for example, like I don't think people understand how much they're being influenced by social media.
Okay.
And that's just you scrolling through a bunch of videos of other people living their life, but that algorithm has been set uh, in a certain way to basically influence people to be predictable,
Yeah.
essentially. AI has the same elements, except it's programming you directly with words.
Okay.
And if you think about how we learn and what is the single driver of change in human behavior,
Yeah.
is its words. It's what I say to you, what my mom said to me.
Yeah.
So now if you're talking to this AI all the time, then it has this ability to program you. So that's I mean probably the dangers and the things that people aren't really talking about when it comes to AI.
Yeah. I think the reason I am asking this, and you might be like sitting there wondering, why is Prince wanting to know, will AI become one of our utilities? Our utilities, the other thing about them is that we pay for them, right? We pay for water and electricity, so we have them. If you don't pay, you don't have it. And the reason I think I want to look at the financial part of the artificial intelligence and the advancements that it's making. Right now, as it stands, you and I, hopefully, use ChatGPT, right? And that's one of the basic examples that we can use. When you use ChatGPT, you put in a prompt. You say, hey, ChatGPT, I want to know this, or what. 3 years ago, you could go on that chat for like forever and nothing would happen. But right now, like it will tell you after like 5 responses and say, hey, this chat is running out. You need to upgrade so you can unleash a pro version where it's unlimited. Essentially saying, hey, my intelligence, you're going to have to pay for it, right? For me, I think that's a little bit dangerous, right? And I'll tell you why I think it's dangerous. Because the reach that AI would eventually have is that everyone is going to have an AI app on their phone because everyone has their phone, right? And like you were saying earlier on, with some human beings then outsource their thinking and their entire existence to AI. If AI can cook for me, if AI can turn up the light for me and do my work, and it gets to a point where I'm completely dependent on my phone, and then at some point the OpenAI boss decides, if you want to have or use AI to that extent, you need to pay 150. That is exclusionary in a way, is it not? And that's a little bit dangerous because then if you don't pay the 150, you don't have the apps and you don't have the access that you would like to have, the access that was introduced to you.
Yeah, I'm certain that it won't get to that point.
Okay.
Because that's not how consumer technologies work.
Okay.
So with consumer technologies, there's always like the goal when building a consumer technology product is to get it into the hand of as many people as possible, and then you find creative ways to make money. So, for example, let's say with YouTube, they might actually just charge. They might charge you for a premium feature, which means you will get YouTube without ads.
Yeah.
But then for the rest of the people that are using, let's say YouTube, you get ads, and that's how they make their money. And really, what YouTube is basically selling is influence.
Okay.
It's like, come to our platform because we know how to influence people to buy your product. So I suspect that's most likely the route that the AI companies are going to take. And if, let's say, ChatGPT says, "Oh, our product is only going to be paid,"
Yeah.
then they are going to lose to the company that says it's going to be free and we'll just charge you for ads.
That's the direction you're seeing.
I don't know if they're going to charge for ads. Maybe. They've spoken a lot about it. I don't know if that's where they're going.
Okay. I think I'm encouraged to hear that you're taking that view, and you somebody who's within the industry is encouraging me, because I won't lie, I was scared. I was like,
I mean, I think it's actually more scary that there would be ads on ChatGPT, because I mean that's a much deeper level of influence.
Exactly, because I tell the app everything.
Exactly.
So even the ads that are gonna start appearing there, they know exactly who I am. They know what I'm interested in, and so they can make more money, because then they can go directly to a beverage company and say, we have 150 million people around the world who are interested in this, so we can bring it to them via advertising. But I guess that's something that is out of everybody's control. Only OpenAI or the people that own the app have means and ways to do that, right? But also, I'm curious, like in closing around the conversation around the workforce and how AI is changing it. If AI is predictably or right now doing majority of the work, or eventually will do majority of the work in the workplace, then what becomes the human value into the entire value chain? What do we then ultimately in 5 years, when everything can be automated, what role do we play?
I think it's more somebody needs to be held accountable for the AI decision making.
Yeah.
So people, I think this is something that's probably going to show up in regulation. So government will say, hey, for any decision that's made by AI, there needs to be some sort of human accountable for it. So you need some level of human oversight, and that's how I believe most jobs or human jobs will be maintained in the future. I mean, at some point, like, humans are going to have to figure out how to entertain themselves outside of jobs, outside of the formal job structure. So if, let's say, one set of jobs gets basically made obsolete, then new jobs will emerge. What if in the future there's jobs like a professional cuddler? I mean, there's already services that are existing.
There's a movie about that.
Exactly. I mean, like, even like social media influencer was not a thing. Podcaster was not a thing. So new jobs always get created, because so long as humans have emotion and the desire to consume, there will be things for people to do. But I mean, I think, again, it's really hard to predict where the world's going, but I do suspect, especially in the case of Africa, for example, is Africa still needs to industrialize. So if we can get, let's say, these AIs to become really good at civil engineering and manufacturing and researching new materials, like they get really good in the material science space, then we can solve a lot of infrastructure problems. A big conversation in the AI space is actually, in the future, there's going to be need for more plumbers and electricians and people that are working blue-collar work. And those blue-collar work are going to actually be more prestigious than they currently are, because it's going to be more. To do that. You can't get AI to do that. There's going to be more demand for that, because I mean, if our top talent are not spending time discovering new science and moving the world forward, they're just helping these banks make more money or save more money.
All right, but with everything that we've covered, for me, it says, like, there's so much advancement that is happening. Some we can't even comprehend it's happening right now, because AI is moving so fast. But then with all of the advancement that is happening, who controls it, right? Which begs the question, in South Africa right now, when we speak about regulation, which is also very important, especially for a developing industry, because we know policies and regulations have to be in place to ensure people are safe, and that the app is also developed in a, what's the right word? That the app is developed in the right way, right? Within the means of the law, or within the parameters that the law set, all right? And with that being said, I want to know, like, what has South Africa done right now to regulate AI that you are aware of?
I don't think South Africa's done much. I I saw that they had gazetted a few stuff, but I don't think any of the policies have come to fruition.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't think that the government would know how to regulate it, to be honest. Um, Because like what are you regulating? Because it's software at
Yeah.
the end of the day. You could VPN access into servers in
Japan.
Poland,
Yeah.
Japan, whatever. So how do you actually regulate it? So maybe it can be regulated inside of, let's say, large institutions.
Mm.
But I think for the consumer, I don't think that any what call this regulations government puts to like can come up with will do much. And I'm very fearful of like global influence when it comes to regulation, because generally uh, governments don't act independently
Okay.
from the global orders. So I mean, obviously we know there's these global coalitions, UN, all of these global coalitions that happen, and generally policy decisions tend to happen at that on that stage,
Yeah.
and a lot of it is kind of the West telling us how we should use this system. So my hopes is that the government takes an independent stance and looks at what's good for the interests of South
Africa.
Africans, and for most part, the regulations that would be ideal would be ones where it allows us to have some sort of data sovereignty. So
What's data sovereignty?
so we should, like, Africa or South Africans should, well, at least South Africa as a nation state should own its own data. So we can't be having all of our data be processed outside of the country, because
Okay.
that can get used as leverage against us.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Without the global like look in terms of like regulation, if we have to like bring it home, what would you, as somebody who's within the industry space or within the AI industry, want policymakers in South Africa to know uh, as maybe they embark on the process of actually regulating and putting policies together to regulate AI without killing innovation, because also that's another conversation.
The software stack of the world is getting rewritten.
Okay.
So right now, most of the important software or technologies that we're using are typically Western software. So
Okay.
AI is resetting all of that. So there's a big opportunity for African solutions to come in, because right now, for every Western software we use, that's money getting exported outside of a country. So what I would love for the government to do is figure out a way to ensure that as people are building these new softwares, or this industry is getting developed, we find a way to get uh, local built software and local hosted software to be incentivized, or incentivize the use of local software somehow, maybe through subsidies,
Yeah.
because I mean, all of these products, to a large extent, the Western products, are subsidized to some extent uh, by the global financial order, which is also intertwined with the Western governments.
Yeah.
I mean, this is
It's
like
very
political philosophy,
yeah.
but it requires you to understand like very deeply how the world works, and how influence is traded globally. But
It's complex.
yeah, it's complex, but we should try and prioritize. Like, I mean, that's what China did. Like, fundamentally, is they said, hey, we want to build stuff ourselves and be self-sustaining, and we can export to the world, but we're not gonna let the world export to us. And they were able to grow really quickly off the back of that, because very like more money flows into China
China
than
then
money
flows
comes out.
out. Yeah.
So
That's an important point you're making,
yeah, it's very important.
right?
We have to make sure we do not leak any of this value outside. So we need to control it and make sure that it's uh, localized as much as possible, because all these important technologies are going to be built
Yeah.
will, like, if they're not owned by us, then they're going to work against us, and it takes away the money from the country. So,
and we don't want that.
We don't want that.
we want to actually win the war around AI. Thank you so much for joining me in this conversation. I think it's been so insightful to just hear from somebody who's on the ground, who's within the industry, to learn how the shift are happening. And also the fact that throughout the conversation, you've just been insistently or reiterating over and over, hey, we need to stay curious about AI. We need to be willing to solve problems in using AI, and that's how we as young people stay ahead of the curve. That's how we as young people use AI to better our environment, because that's what you were saying.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to learn how to use and work with AI, and that's the whole point of the conversation, is we need to learn how to use these tools that are at our disposal so we have a better future. Thank you so much,
100%.
Mr. John Kitenge.
All right, cool.
Thanks for the
Thanks.
All right, man.
All right, cool.
Cheers. So what I'm taking away from this conversation is that AI is here to stay. We need to learn how to use these AI tools so we are a part of this new industry that is forever changing and shifting as quickly as it has. I want to know though, because this conversation doesn't end here. It continues on our comment section. Has AI made your work easier or harder? So drop a comment on our comments and let's keep the conversation going. We want to know, because you are the reason we are having this conversation. So drop a comment, subscribe to the channel so you know when we drop the next episode. This is Everyday AI and Prince Mashinini. I'll see you on the next one.